Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the other side of the corner. Welcome to your latest Chelsea news. When you go through a rough patch, when you go through a period where the results don't go your way, you best believe there's going to be all sorts of nonsense that's going to be sprouted on social media, on news publications and whatnot. And this is exactly what I believe is taking place. Indykaila news has blown out of proportion in recent months after his endorsement from David Ornstein on a particular matter for Man United news in regards to Belieber. And since then, Indykaila, this account thinks they are the real legit sources. They know what's going on. But you know what? Like always, whether a news is fake or not, I always say when there is a little bit of smoke, there is a little bit of fire. Now, a lot of these things that I'm going to showcase to you might seem very, very fake, but some of you guys out there, you're on Maresca's case, and you're definitely on the player's case, the owner's case, the sporting director's case. But I know for a fact there's quite a few of you guys that don't rate this manager, and I want to know from each and every one of you guys, not just the ones that don't rate Maresca. I want to know from each and every one of you guys, what do you think about some of these news that we're going to go through that Indykaila has shared with us? We're going to talk about Malo as well. Malo speaking out after the Lincoln City victory, where Malo stating that Chelsea played like kids. So we're going to talk about that and a few other bits and bobs that we will touch base on. Now, first up, exclusive. Literally dropped about a couple of hours ago. According to CFC sources, I wonder who these sources are, man. Who are these sources? I'm really keen to know. Now, there's quite a few dot points there. We're going to go through each and every one of them. Cole Palmer unsatisfied with his tactical role for Chelsea. Now, this isn't the first time we've heard this. We've seen notion of this issue last season as well. There was rumors that Cole Palmer unsatisfied with his tactical role. If you guys remember Cole Palmer in the Instagram story last season, which was earlier on this year, posting a moment where he was a free bird under Pochettino, and then I think he put a caption saying good times or something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong what that exact caption was, but basically he was trying to insinuate that those were the times where he felt very free as opposed to now. So Cole Palmer unsatisfied with his tactical role for Chelsea. Me personally, I don't see how he's not free. I don't see how he can be unsatisfied. That's me personally, because I feel like whenever Cole Palmer plays, he doesn't have a set position. He's got the allowance and the role that he's been put on by Enzo Maresca. It allows him to be more creative. It allows him to be more expressive. So, and I think the epitome of that role really is that PSG final in the Club World Cup. And if you see every other match as well, it's not like Cole Palmer's pigeonholed in a particular position. He's allowed to roam around and drift around every way possible in the field. So I'm not really sure whether this dot point is utterly true. And if it is true, then honestly, Cole Palmer, what else do you want? What else do you want in this setup? Once again, in the comment section, let me know. Could Cole Palmer possibly feel restricted in this way of playing? Me personally, I don't see how he's restricted. So this top point for me feels a bit fake. Next up, certain players find Enzo Maresca arrogant. Certain players find Enzo Maresca arrogant. Now, who are these certain players? Is it Raheem Sterling? Is it Desasi? Is it Nicholas Jackson? Are these players the ones that have left the football club? I highly doubt the ones that are, playing for him right now. Maybe Renato Viga is one of them. The ones that are playing for him right now, I highly doubt they'd find Enzo Maresca arrogant. If anything, under Enzo Maresca, a lot of these players have praised the manager. Levi Colwell, Caicedo specifically said that he enjoys the way Chelsea Football Club play now as opposed to how they used to play under Pochettino. Enzo Fernandez has high praise on Enzo Maresca. Reece James have got a lot of praise for Enzo Maresca. Enzo Maresca, we know, he's done good so far at Chelsea Football Club with what he's been given and what has been presented to him under the circumstances. He's done good. So, look, do I find Enzo Maresca a little bit arrogant in the press conference at times? Yeah, but you know what? Some of those arrogance is valid. There are certain arrogance that I'm like, dude, you need to calm yourself down. Like, for instance, the things that some people are trying to say, he's trying to send a message to the board, he's trying to send a message to the owners because of him being dissatisfied with the current squad and the status of it. I feel like that, Enzo Maresca, you're probably being a little bit arrogant. Do what you can with what you've been given because the entire squad isn't bad. There might be bits and pieces, centre back, of course, goalkeeper, of course, left wing side, of course, but there are other areas that are so good in the team. You can make something out of it. So some parts of me think Enzo Maresca is arrogant, but it's warranted. Some parts of me thinks it is his arrogance sometimes is definitely a bit over the top. But certain players finding Enzo Maresca arrogant, I don't think any of the current crop of players who are in the squad right now. I once again find this news quite fake. But if you were to ask the players that have left or the players that are abolished, yeah, they might find him arrogant. Of course, they might find him arrogant. So once again, let me know in the comment section, do you think this top point has any validity at all? Chelsea owners are aware of concerns from the players. This for me is utter nonsense. Chelsea owners are aware of concerns from the players. I highly doubt any of the players are very concerned at the moment in regards to the management style, in regards to how Chelsea Football Club are playing. Not that long ago, we qualified for the Champions League, we won the Conference League, we won the Club World Cup, literally not that long ago, where there was just praise left, right, and center. And players post those achievements saying how much they want to focus on this season and how much they want to succeed this season. I'm not going to allow 4 matches that has taken place recently, Brentford, Bayern Munich, Man United, and Lincoln, to all of a sudden say, oh, now the players are concerned about the whole situation, concerned about Maresca, concerned about the way we play. And now the owners, they've got their ears open and they're hearing and listening to all of these concerns. I don't buy it, not at the moment. If these, poor results continue for a prolonged period, then I could understand. Right now, I really don't feel there are concerns. Once again, who are these players that are concerned, and who are the players that these owners are worried about? Once again, I feel like this top point has some element of fakeness about it. Andoni Iraola has big admirers at Chelsea Football Club. Now, look, this one's a strange one for me. Why are you going around admiring other managers when you have a manager at the helm at Chelsea Football Club? So Max, who you guys all know as PYS, he's put down a tweet off the back of this, because obviously this post from Indykaila is doing the rounds. Max put out that, look, all of those dot points above, he's never heard anything about, but he has heard something about this top dot point where Chelsea are big admirers of Andoni Iraola of Bournemouth, who's doing a bit of a madness at Bournemouth. Look, the way I look at this is, I'm sure the Chelsea owners, the directors, you can admire as many people as you want. There's nothing stopping you from admiring others. Are you actually interested in bringing in someone like Andoni Iraola if something was to happen with Maresca? I don't think these people are thinking about that as yet. I think the primary objective is still to keep backing Enzo Maresca and continue with him, because so far it's not got to a point where he needs to be replaced. Yes, there is a dangerous pattern that's building up over the last 4 matches, and I'm hoping that Enzo Maresca changes all of that and finds a solution within the team. But I don't think that Chelsea, they could admire. There's nothing wrong in admiring other managers, but are they seriously thinking about replacing Enzo Maresca? I don't think so. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts about all of these dot points from Indykaila. I think there's probably a little bit of truth about certain pointsy, but I think overall a lot of it seems to me quite fake. But let me know your thoughts. Now, next up, Malo Gusto says Chelsea played like kids in the first half against Lincoln. Of course, in the first half we played like kids. They bullied us in every part of the pitch. It was really bad for us. I'm so glad Malo Gusto has come out publicly and said this and not try to put some sort of excuse around it. I like this attitude. Self-assessment is the most important thing in life. I'm telling you right now. If you can be critical about yourself in a constructive manner, that is a very good start in order to rectifying the problem and in order to go and achieve success. So, Malo Gusto, I fully concur. Like, I fully agree. Yes, Chelsea Football Club played like kids. Yes, in the first half, Lincoln City looked like they were the superior team. Even without the ball, every action they were doing was threatening. They were bullying us physically. Every long ball, they were winning the headers. There was so many of their players always available inside the Chelsea box, free for an opportunity to score goals. I don't want to see that ever again. I know that's the kind of tactics, honestly, I've never seen anyone deploy at that level. It was on steroids. Long throws, set pieces, corners, long goal kicks. Like, I've seen these sort of tactics being deployed by Stoke City at the highest level. But what Lincoln City did was on steroids. Everything was pretty much going long. And then, of course, they mixed that up with pressing high as well, which then created a lot of chaos in our half. But I want this to be rectified 100%. I'm glad Malo Gusto has come out publicly and said that we played like kids. We need to be far better. So hopefully we don't see this pattern continue against Brighton, against Benfica, and then we've got Liverpool just before the international break. Enzo Maresca on halftime team talk, absolutely, he was angry. We prepared the game thinking exactly the way the first half was. Sometimes it's about desire, but it's about experience. Jamie Gittins never played in this kind of games. Jarrell the same. It's more about desire, and we struggled in the first half. If the next game in Carabao is against a League One or Two team away, for sure tonight's experience will be good. You know what? That's fair comment from Enzo Maresca. Yes, some of these players would not have experienced what they experienced against Lincoln. In fact, as a fan, I've never seen something like that because, as I said, that tactics was on steroids. I've seen tactics like that deployed by Stoke, but that was on steroids. So I get it. Some of these players would have never, ever experienced that. Now you have. Make sure you never, ever go through that again, and so that the fans don't have to go through that again as well. There is no news yet on Cole Palmer. Sending him for surgery on his groin injury is seen as the last resort, with the Blues hoping they can manage his ongoing issues without the need for a knife. Look, all I'm going to say, if surgery is needed, please get it done, because we've already wasted time on him missing out against West Ham, where he had to be pulled off, from the pre-match warm-up. Fulham, he missed. Then there was the international break. Then I think he was rushed back. We as a fan base, we don't know the ins and outs. Yes, we were so happy to see Cole Palmer back, but it looks like ultimately it should not have happened. Brentford, he was rushed back. Bayern Munich, even though he scored, Brentford, he scored as well. Probably he didn't need to be rushed back. And then we saw against Man United, he could not even sustain, I think, 15, 16 minutes. And then he was taken off. I want him to be rested. I don't want this to be a long-term injury down the track. If there needs to be a surgery, get the surgery done. The word is that he could potentially miss up to 6 to 8 weeks. That in itself is a long period of time. And we will suffer a little bit without him. I feel like we do have quality now to win games without Cole Palmer, but to a certain level, I feel like we could potentially suffer. However, I'd rather him recuperate, and get better completely, as opposed to have a long-term injury that could go on for 3, 4, 5, maybe even 6 months. I just don't want that one bit. Cole Palmer is way too important for us. But a massive blunder. Whoever decided on him to be rushed back, massive, massive blunder. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, Chelsea have been slapped with a £25,000 fine by the FA for how they behaved in their 2-1 loss at Old Trafford. Referee Peter Banks showed 6 yellow cards to the Blues in total, including one to Maresca and a straight red to Sanchez. Look, that entire ordeal against Man United was awful. Absolutely awful. I don't want to see it again. Yeah, okay, we've been slapped with a fine. We've copped a fine. Sure. But I'm more concerned about that nonsense performance. And I hope the players realize that. I hope the players look at that performance and say to themselves, no, it's not acceptable. We're far better than that. And I don't want to see a repeat of that nonsense, especially against Man United as well. I'm still disturbed off the back of that. Really am disturbed off the back of that. Last but not least, it is understood Chelsea made sure to leave cash in their reserves this summer so that they can spend in January if they decide an area of the team needs bolstering. Look, I said every window we're going to be busy. Every window. Ins, outs. We've got quite a few players still that needs to be sent out in January, especially Raheem Sterling and Desarcy. Who knows? Maybe Emiga comes from Strasbourg and becomes our third choice striker. Nicholas Jackson, I think that chapter is well and truly done. And yeah, centre back, goalkeeper. Yeah, there's positions that needs to be bolstered, and then we might be looking at that in January. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be another very, very busy summer next summer as well. So, yeah, I've got no doubts. Chelsea Football Club, we love this trading game, man. Transfer trading is part of our revenue stream. So let's see what happens. I don't want to think too much about the transfer window as yet, because we've got a lot of matches up until then, and a lot of things can change the scenarios at the moment. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts about everything we spoke about. Hope you've enjoyed this. Smash up the like button if you're here for the first time. Subscribe. Hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. Until next time, take care. See ya.